Good morning, everyone. I thought I would drop in this morning. I just love it when my brain wakes up, it's alert. I get a little quirky and excited about the day. And I just want to say that I think sales is an adventure. It has always been an adventure for me. It didn't start out that way. But when I got there, sales, selling, getting skilled, having conversations with people, building relationships, walking in and doing cold calls, as much as I dreaded them, always turned out to be fun experiences. So I'm always, and why? What's the secret? The secret is curiosity. Not curiosity to solve a problem, but curiosity to know more. Like, geez, that's just great what you did. How did you get there? How did you choose that? How did you make that pathway for yourself? Genuine curiosity. So remember, you used to have it. You used to have it when you were 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and you were constantly getting into trouble. You got into trouble because you'd go out and you'd figure out that water in dirt made mud, and you'd come in all covered in mud, and all mom could tell you about was the tough times that she was going to have to clean you up. But you know what? You were exploring. That is all sales is. Sales is an exploration of people. And it's more than just solving their needs. It's actually getting to know them to the point that if you thought your product was going to solve their need, well, guess what? It may not be all that they need. And maybe you become a resource because you help them. So I think most people hate sales because they have, or the selling process, because they have tunnel vision. They're afraid to know more about people because they're afraid someone's going to tell them a tale of woes. When you're skilled, you can listen and give them the compassion that they need, but it doesn't have to consume your day. So anyone who's out there in sales, and if you have a conversation with yourself, well, I don't want to talk to them, they're a slow talker. Oh, I don't want to talk to them, they're going to tell me all their drama. Well, then let me tell you, you're missing an opportunity. All you need is a skill to show compassion and not have it cost you a lot of time. But I will tell you my big pet peeve out there in the world today, and I have pet peeves, but the biggest one is, let's come back to sales is an adventure. When you feel like you can take the risk to be curious about others, for others, with others, yes, about others, for others, with others, and I explain most of that in my classes when I teach those, is that you don't have any time for fear. You don't have any time to say, am I doing this right? Because relationship building does not have a formula. Sales does not have a formula. Sales does not have a script. So you have to get real with yourself about how you like to be with people. So if you run around all day saying, I don't like people, well, then you're mirroring exactly what you don't like. Someone doesn't like you either. So how is that helping you out? So I'm not going to go there either, but I do hear that every once in a while. And it's like, get over yourself. Sales is fun. Sales is an adventure. So if any of you out there are willing to go do a bungee jump, or you're willing to do a zip line, or you're willing to walk into a room of 50 people with strangers, then you're great. You can walk right into the sales adventure, take whatever that energy is, and I can give you the skills to help you get there. But let's talk about this one more way. I'm curious about people. I got to sit on a parts counter at a John Deere implement business when I was 4, 5, and 6. And I just got to talk to every farmer that came in the door. And then afterwards, my grandfather would take me aside and he said, remember so-and-so? And he'd tell me something about them so I would begin to understand the depth of that person. So my grandfather knew everybody. He'd go down to two they weren't called coffee shops in the 50s. It was Tony's Bar and Lil's Cafe. And he went down there at 4 a.m. every day so that the guys that were in town eating breakfast before they got out to their fields, he'd have a conversation with them. And these could have been his John Deere clients. They could have been fellow ranchers. My grandfather did it all, but he stayed in touch with his clientele that way. So was that sharing? No, he was selling the whole time he was out there, but he was selling them on their relationship with him. And he was also out there offering what could he do for them. So I have other stories about my grandfather, but let's just say if it was a cold winter and people didn't have the heat to heat their families' homes, to have the food to cook, he would bring in boxcar loads of coal and he'd say to these guys down at Tony's, get all the coal you need, keep your family warm, keep them fed through the winter. Now, why would he do that? He did that because he needed them plowing the fields in the spring so that they could bring in the payments on the tractors they bought from him. It was a mutually beneficial relationship. So when you're curious, you really need to be curious about what is the mutually beneficial relationship I can create with the people I want to serve. So sales is only a part of helping people get the benefits that they need in their life to succeed, like I coach and mentor sales, or to have products that are going to help them with their health. It just doesn't. So there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad, there's no salesy, there's no pushy. It's all in your head. So if you were ever curious in your life, I can help you revive that curiosity, use it to your advantage, and get on the sales train to have a little adventure. You know, I wrote a post out on Instagram today, and I'll probably post it later today on Facebook. But I was imagining if I were Dr. Seuss, what I might say about the fear of selling and the adventure of selling. So this is hokey, but I tried it out. So let's see if it resonates for you. So I said, oh me, oh my. It is time for me to help you discover the art of curiosity that turns into a relationship, that turns into a product presentation, that can turn into a sale. Oh, wait a minute. I blew it. I didn't talk about it. So this is the myth. This is the Dr. Seuss part. I screwed up. I read at the halfway mark. So here's how it goes. I only share. I don't sell. But here is a product you really need. I can tell. But I want you to like me. So I will just keep sharing because I do not sell. BS. BS. Anybody who's teaching you that you only have to share to sell, they have a good point. You have to share something at some point. You do need to get to know your people, but you got to get to the end where you ask, and if not, then you figure out what the follow-up is. So there's an art attached to the sharing. So sharing has value. Sharing does come into the picture. Sharing is not the whole picture. So what I want you to do is I really want you to consider whether or not you want to have a complimentary session with me at successwithmarla.com. Just register. Let's have a conversation. What's stopping you from getting the sales volume that you want to have? And once you learn this skill, it could lead into you with your network marketing opportunities. But I got to tell you, anybody who's selling an opportunity before people need money. Yep, no problem. But to offer them a way to make money without knowing if they like the product, will use the product, or even have the curiosity to connect with others, you're wasting your time. So what I really want to do is I want to talk to you, and let's take you from where you are. Let's build your curiosity. Let's get you comfortable with people, and then let's see your bottom line rock and grow. Talk to you soon. Bye.